I've spent the last few weeks swapping cables and crawling under my desk so you don't have to. If you're tired of unplugging your mouse and monitor every time you switch from your work laptop to your gaming rig, you need a KVM switch. I bought and tested the 5 most popular models to see which ones actually hold up.
Product number 1. USB 3.0 HDMI KVM switch, 2-port. When I first pulled this one out of the box, I liked that it didn't feel like a cheap plastic toy. It has a solid weight to it, and the anti-slip pads actually keep it from sliding around my desk. The big win here is the USB 3.0 support. I plugged in my external hard drive and moved a massive 4K video file between computers, and it didn't crawl like the older USB 2.0 versions usually do. The 4K at 60 Hz looks crisp on my monitor, no flickering or weird screen tearing while I was working. I also really appreciated the wired remote. I tucked the actual switch box behind my PC and just kept a little button near my keyboard. It keeps the desk looking way cleaner. If you have 2 computers and want fast data speeds for a printer or drive, this is my pick for a reliable daily driver. Product number 2. A10CS22HF 2-port USB KVM. This A10 switch feels a bit different because the cables are actually built right into the unit. When I held it, I realized I wouldn't have to go hunting for extra HDMI or USB cords, which is a nice touch for a quick setup. It's very compact, roughly the size of a deck of cards, so it's great if you're working with a tiny desk setup. Now, keep in mind, this one tops out at 1080p. When I hooked it up to my 4K screen, the downgrade was noticeable, but for a standard office setup or a secondary 1080p monitor, it worked perfectly. The remote port selector is on a long cable, so I could hide the spaghetti mess of wires behind my desk. If you're a student or working from home with basic 1080p monitors and want the simplest setup possible, this one is a no-brainer.
Product number 3. 4-port USB 3.0 HDMI KVM switch. If you're like me and have a tech hoard with a PC, a Mac Mini, and maybe a couple of laptops, this 4-port box is the solution. It's a bit larger than the others, but it feels sturdy enough to handle all those cables pulling at it. I tested it with 4 different systems at once, and the button on the front let me cycle through them without any lag. It handles 4K at 60 Hz just fine, which is impressive for a 4-port setup. I used the 3 USB 3.0 ports to share my webcam and mechanical keyboard across all 4 machines, and it recognized them instantly every time I switched. There's no hotkey switching here, just the physical button, but it's fast. If you have a multi-computer lab or a serious home office with 3 or 4 PCs, this is the beast you need.
Product number 4. Jankane 4K KVM switch, 2-port. This little unit is very straightforward. It's a small metal box that feels like it could survive a few drops. What I liked about this one is that it came with all the HDMI and USB cables included in the box, which saved me a trip to the store. It's a plug-and-play dream. I didn't have to install any drivers or even plug in an external power source for it to work. During my testing, the LED light was a small but helpful detail. It glows green or blue, so I always knew which PC was active without having to guess. The 4K picture quality stayed stable while I was playing games on my PS4 and then switching back to my laptop. If you're on a tighter budget but still need that 4K clarity for 2 devices, this is the most cost-effective way to get it done.
Product number 5. iDock C20 USB-C KVM docking station. This is easily the most pro-feeling device of the bunch. It's more than just a switch. It's a full 12-in-1 docking station. I used the USB-C ports to connect my laptops, and it actually charged them with 60 watts of power while I worked. The best part? It supports dual monitors. I had 2 screens running off 2 different laptops, which completely changed how I multitask. I noticed the switching speed was incredibly fast, maybe 2 seconds tops, thanks to the EDID emulation. It even has an Ethernet port and an SD card slot, which made my desk feel much more organized. Just a heads up for Mac users, it won't do extended dual screens because of how Mac OS works. But for Windows users who want a high-end dual monitor workstation that charges your gear, this is the absolute gold standard. Outro. That's the lineup. After living with these for a while, I can definitely say there's a huge difference between a basic switch and a full dock. If you want to grab one of these for your setup, I've put the links to all of them in the description below.